Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the NBA slate on DraftKings for Saturday, March 10th. We only have 4 games today, so a really short slate on this Saturday. But we're still going to go through each position, talk about some guys we want to target, and of course, I'll give you 5 early looks at this slate, 5 guys I see that I think I'm going to be targeting in my lineups tonight. But before we do get started, guys, I would really appreciate it if you drop a like on the video, and if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you click that subscribe button down below, so that way you'll never miss out on any of my new uploads. But starting off at point guard, on today's 4-game slate, we've got Westbrook up top here at 11-5 in a matchup against the Spurs. I'm not a big fan of Westbrook today, even though it's a short slate, and I usually always pay up for the studs on a short slate. This matchup against the Spurs, not ideal at all. Westbrook hasn't done that well this year against the Spurs, only putting up an average of 44 DraftKings points through 2 games against them. The Spurs, they just play such good team defense. They play at a slow pace, and you're not really getting a discount for the matchup on Westbrook. He's still 11-5, which is pretty expensive, at least going up against the Spurs. I would hoping he'd be like maybe 11K, 11-1, or even in the 10K price range. But at 11-5, I think there are better mid-tier plays on the slate. A lot of guys in like the 8K, 7K range you can play, to where I don't think you have to fit in Westbrook. He is really the only studs guy, like the next most expensive guy under Westbrook's Brad Beal. So Westbrook's really the only stud you have to consider jamming in. And I think I'm going to pass on him today. I just don't feel like he's going to really burn me on the slate. And if he does, so be it, I guess. But in this matchup against the Spurs, I just think there are better plays. So if we want to go a little bit cheaper, I'm not a big fan of Brad Beal or Lou Will today, at least not Brad Beal against Miami. That's a tough matchup. Miami's really good defensively against point guards, shooting guards. Obviously, Brad Beal's going to get a ton of usage with John Wall off the court, and he's been playing really well. But at 8,800, kind of like with Westbrook, just think there are other plays I like. Lou Will's in a good spot against the Magic, but he's really expensive at 8,500. And I'm not sure how much upside Lou Will has at this price tag. So if we want to go to the 6K range and this 5K range, I think this is the point guard sort of price range that I like. The guys I'm going to be targeting point guard. Dejounte Murray is a guy that really sticks out to me at 6K. I think Dejounte Murray has a lot of upside on this price. I have been on him lately. I played him the other day against the Warriors, and he had a decent game. 29 DraftKings points in 30 minutes. Was only 5,800 that day. He's only 6K today, so the price tag is still pretty nice for Murray. This guy has a lot of upside. We all know this. If he gets the minutes, he's going to put up big games. 40 DraftKings points in 31 minutes against the Pelicans. That 29-point game against the Warriors, I would say that's a bad game for Murray. So at 6K, 30 DraftKings points, I think Murray can easily get that and pay off this price, and he obviously has that upside you want in tournaments. He can get 40, 45, even close to 50. He's done it before this year. So I really like Murray here, and I think he's a really good play in that 6K range. Probably my favorite play out of all the 6K point guards. And if we go a little bit cheaper, like JJ Barea, Kyle Anderson, D. Wade, Satoransky, don't feel like these are guys I'm really jamming in today. Maybe DJ Augustine against the Clippers, you could go to a 5,200. Especially if Fournier and Aaron Gordon are both out again, we could definitely consider Augustine at this price, and he could be a play that you look to. But then going for the value, there's not a lot of value I love at point guard, 5K and under, that I'm really looking to target today, at least just looking to jam in. So I think that's it for point guard. Moving on to shooting guard, we've obviously got Brad Beal and Lou Will up top here. Kind of already talked about them. Rivers, didn't mention him at point guard. At 6,200, I'm not a big fan of Rivers. I just think I'd rather play Dejounte Murray, but you can play Rivers at shooting guard, so if you wanted to play him here, you could do that. But I think the guys I'm really focused in on at shooting guard, most likely going to be a guy like Josh Richardson, 5,500. This is just a really cheap price tag for Josh Richardson, and that's one of the reasons I kind of like him. His minutes have kind of been inconsistent lately, which is a bit concerning. 35, then down to 19, then 35 again, then 22 minutes his last game against the Sixers. But Richardson's still been solid. 33, 20, 27, 26 DK points his last 4 games. There aren't a ton of like plays that really stick out to me on this slate as being like just locks. So a guy like Josh Richardson, I think a guy you can use for value just because he's cheap. He's going to play big minutes. You could definitely consider Macklemore as well against Dallas. I don't mind him either. But the main guy I see right in that price range is Jonathan Simmons against the Clippers. Love Jonathan Simmons here, especially if Aaron Gordon and Evan Fournier if they're both out again today. I was pretty high on Simmons with Fournier and Aaron Gordon out on Friday. I'm not sure how he's doing. That game's going on as I'm recording this video. The Magic are on a back-to-back. I doubt any guys would rest, so I'm expecting Simmons to play here. And he's going to get a ton of usage, going to play some big minutes, especially if those 2 guys remain out. So I love Simmons at 5,400. I think that's still too cheap of a price. He's the guy that really sticks out to me as a shooting guard play. And then you've got guys I've kind of already talked about. But then looking for the value, there isn't a lot here I really love. Sub 5K, maybe Dillon Brooks at 4,900, but I just much rather get up to Simmons. I think Simmons is really the shooting guard play. This sticks out to me. So let's go ahead and move on to small forward. And look at this position. Got Tobias Harris up top here. Paul George also up top here as well. Two stud options. I'm not sure I really want to pay more for Tobias Harris than Paul George, even though Harris is in the better matchup. I just like Paul George's price tag, $7,700. I think he is definitely in play on this slate. Although it's not the best matchup against the Spurs, I think this is just too cheap of a price tag for Paul George. For him to pay this off, you really only need about 38, 39 DK points. On the year, George has been averaging 39.7. He's got 41, 36, 36, and 35 DK points his last 4 games. In 2 games this year against the Spurs, hasn't played that well, just 32 DraftKings points in 37 minutes. But just mainly the price tag is the reason I think you can consider George here. Very likely he's able to pay this off or at least get close to value. So I do like paying up for him on this slate at small forward if you can fit him in, especially on DK where he's just $7,700. Really, really cheap price. Guys like Harrison Barnes, Otto Porter, don't think these are the guys I'm considering today. Maybe Otto Porter just because he's kind of cheap at $6,600. But I would try and find like the 1K extra to get up to George, but Porter is a fine option there. And then going to this 5K range, we got some really good plays here. I feel like you can obviously play Simmons at small forward, but Mario HEZONJA, another guy I really like today. If Aaron Gordon's out, I think HEZONJA is a really good play. Also, Evan Fournier being out should help HEZONJA as well, but mainly Aaron Gordon being out, at least if he's out for this game. I think that's one of the reasons you should consider HEZONJA today because he usually always starts for Aaron Gordon, sees a bump in usage with Aaron Gordon out, and plays big minutes as well. And it is a pretty good matchup against the Clippers. The Clippers are not a good defensive team. This Orlando Clippers game, probably going to be like the game you want to stack, the game you want to have the most exposure to on this slate. A lot of the other games kind of have low totals, pretty disgusting, but this is one of the higher total games. Should be competitive. For what it's worth, early this year against the Clippers, HEZONJA did play 34 minutes and put up 41 DraftKings points. Not really sure if Gordon missed that day, but HEZONJA has played well against the Clippers through 1 game this year. I think he keeps it going today. Him and Simmons are both guys I really like from the Magic. They're mainly the plays I see at small forward. You could obviously play Dillon Brooks if you want to go cheap here. Kelly Oubre, he's coming off a nice game Friday night. You could possibly play him at 4,700. Maybe BERTANS at 4,500 if Pau Gasol does not play again. BERTANS did play 28 minutes last game against the Warriors. He started in that game for Pau Gasol and put up 21 DraftKings points. He's 4,500, so he's really cheap. You could play him at small forward or power forward on DK. I don't mind him as well. But mainly the guys from the Magic are kind of the ones I'm targeting at small forward. So moving on to power forward, we got LMA up top here, who I do like on the slate. He's up to 8,400 in price. But if Powell is out, we already know Kawhi's going to be out. LMA just gets so much usage. He's coming off a big game against the Warriors, played really well. 57 DraftKings points in 37 minutes, had 30 points, 17 rebounds, and 4 assists. We can expect big games from Aldridge with Kawhi off the court, but Powell being off the court also helps Aldridge as well. More opportunity for rebounds if Gasol misses. So I do like Aldridge here. He's expensive, 8,400. He did see a price increase, but I think he's one of the studs you can't consider paying up for on the slate. Aldridge, Paul George, and then we'll talk about some guys at center. Those are kind of the studs I'm looking to target. Mainly one of the reasons I don't like Westbrook is because I like some of these guys that are like 3K, 4K cheaper. But back at power forward and looking for other plays, there isn't a lot I love here besides Aldridge and the guys I've kind of already talked about. In this 5K range, guys like Dirk, I'm not really looking to target today. Maybe Markieff Morris, you could go there, but that's a tough matchup against the Heat. Montrezl Harrell, I don't think he continues to see enough minutes to really pay off this price. Possibly Dwight Powell you could go to at 5,500, but his minutes have also started to trend down lately, just mid-20s in minutes last 3 games, 26, 23, and 24. He's still been solid, getting you at least 20 DraftKings points in his last 3 games, but 20 DraftKings points at 5,500 isn't really getting it done, so I don't love a lot of the power forward plays that are cheap. Most likely we'll be playing a guy like BERTANS here, especially if Gasol misses, or HEZONJA you can play at power forward. This is a pretty gross position. If I can fit in Aldridge at power forward, I'll try and do that, or PG, maybe Otto Porter, kind of the 3 guys I'm really looking at this position. But moving on to center, this is a position where I do like a lot of the stud plays. Obviously, we have Aldridge up top here. You got Vooch against the Clippers. You got DeAndre Jordan in that same game against the Magic. Also got Marc Gasol, who's really cheap against Dallas. I really like 2 of these 3 options. We'll be plugging 2 of these 3 guys into the 5 plays. First off, DeAndre Jordan at 7,800. Just absolutely love him here against the Magic. Nikola Vucevic is a very bad defender. This is a great matchup for DeAndre Jordan. He crushed the Magic earlier this year, putting up 54 DraftKings points in 36 minutes, had 16 points, 20 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks and 2 steals, just an all-around monster game from Jordan. I think we can expect somewhat to that production here. I think Jordan's easily going to be able to get 40 to 45 DK points. 50 would definitely not surprise me at all. This could be a spot where DJ goes for 20 and 20, kind of like where he did against the Knicks. A game like that, where 19 points, 20 rebounds, I think this is the kind of game we can expect from Jordan here. It's just such a good matchup. Vooch is such a bad defender. I think Jordan's able to dominate down low, and I really like him at just a cheap price of $7,800. MARC GASOL also I feel like is way too cheap today at $7,500. Make sure you note that Memphis is on a back-to-back though. They have been resting Gasol sometimes on back-to-backs. So that is a bit concerning. We should get some news on that before lock. It is only that game is an hour after lock, but hopefully we'll have a starting lineup for Memphis before 7:30, or at least we'll have some news on Gasol. But if Gasol plays and he plays his full minutes, love him here at his cheap price of $7,500. We all know Dallas really struggles down low to defend centers. They're a very bad rebounding team, so this is a great matchup for Gasol. He's done well against Dallas this year. Through 3 games against them, he's averaged 44 DraftKings points and has played an average of 34 minutes. If Gasol plays 30-plus minutes here, just $7,500, really don't know how he doesn't pay off this price. You really only need like 36, 37 from Gasol. On the year, he's been averaging 38. He's got 38, 45, 35, 51 DK points last 4 games. Been playing well, even with the Grizzlies kind of just shutting down some other guys, kind of tanking the rest of the season. Gasol's still been pretty good for fantasy, and I think he's a really good play today against Dallas. A really good matchup there. Guys like Whiteside and Steven Adams, I don't think I'm going to have much exposure to, just because I like the guys that are a little bit more expensive, like DeAndre Jordan and MARC GASOL. So maybe if we don't want to pay up for the top guys and we want to try and find value, it's pretty gross here value-wise. Not seeing a ton I love. Possibly GORTAT you could play against Miami. He might just have to play minutes to go up against Whiteside. He has played an average of 25 minutes through 3 games this year against the Heat and against Whiteside, but this is really a GPP play only. GORTAT's really risky. He can only play like 15, 20 minutes, or he could play 25, close to 30. You don't really know. I'm not really looking to go cheap at center anyways to begin with. I think the real good plays here are definitely up top. But that's really it for center, guys, and that's really it for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the vid. If it helped you, make sure you drop a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, like I said, make sure you click that subscribe button down below. If you have any questions, you can hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT, or you can just leave a comment down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and good luck tonight on this slate. Peace.